Assalamualaikum and hi, I'm Nurul Najwa. So today we're going to talk about JavaScript loops in programming. Sometimes we want to repeat an action in a number of times. For examples, let's imagine we want to display HiQ Season 5 for 6 times. Okay, no problem. So I can just write system.out.println, write HiQ Season 5, and then repeat it for 5 times. And now we execute. You can see here 6 times HiQ Season 5. But what if I want to make it 50, 100 or even 1,000 times HiQ Season 5? So here's where a loop saves the day. A loop can be used to tell a program to execute statements repeatedly. Loops are constructs that control repeated execution of a block of statements. The concept of looping is a fundamental to programming. There are various types of loops, and each of these types has their own syntax and essentially do the same things to repeat an action in a number of times. Java provides 3 types of loops: while loop, do while loop, and for loop. For this section of video, we're going to learn what is the syntax of while loop and how does it works. So this is how to write a while loop. First, we write an initial expression, and here we declare and initialize a variable. So I want to use integer to declare the variable like count and set it to 0. So here we have data type, loop variable, and value, and then we terminate, and let's define a while loop. So we write while, and we want to put a condition. Each loop contains a condition, a Boolean expression that controls the execution of the loop body. So here we put a condition to compare the value of count that is 0 with something else. So if I want to run it 500 times, I write count less than 500 and compare count to 500. So as long as count is less than 500, this loop will execute. After that, we put curly bar and add another statement, system.out.println, HiQ Season 5, and then terminate. And finally, we write an increment or decrement expression. So I write count plus plus, that is increment operator, to increment the value of count with 1. And once again, we terminate. Now we execute, so here we get 500 times HiQ Season 5. So you have seen a while loop in action. Now let's try to understand how does it works. So earlier I've told you what we call an initial expression. The variable count is initially 0, and for this statement, this is what we call the loop body. A one-time execution of a loop body is referred to as an iteration or repetition of the loop. Now, the loop body checks whether count is less than 500 is true. If so, it executes the loop body to display the message of HiQ Season 5. After the first iteration, count is incremented by 1, and then this condition is evaluated again, so 2 is less than 500, and then we get the second iteration. And this condition keep evaluating until it becomes false. When count is less than 500 is false, which means when count reaches 500, this loop will be terminated. For this example, you know exactly how many times the loop body needs to be executed, and this is what we call a definite loop or a counted loop. But what happens if the loop is mistakenly written? For example, we see this coding, and now we execute, and this is what we call the infinite loop that never ends. For this example, the loop is infinite because I is always 1, and I is less than 10 will always be true. So if you want to stop this infinite loop, go click it down here, or you can press Ctrl+C to stop it. Thank you for watching my tutorial. So if you want to learn more about loop, check out my description. I put some links that will help you to understand easily.